Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, season 4, episode 14. Sorry, I was a bit confused there for a minute. So Sarah is there. She's waiting for to put out two islanders because in episode 13 they had two couples in the bottom, and the islands had been advised that they would be deciding who went home. And on the UK version, the way they did it was the girls would vote which boy to stay, and the guys would vote which girls to stay. And so I was surprised that the girls got to vote for a girl and the boys got to vote for a boy, because then I think it makes it difficult, especially if the person doesn't have a connection with anyone else and is very tight with the group that's voting for her. They are going to save the person that they're tight with, even if the other person doesn't have, you know, has a connection with somebody, because Bria was starting to build a connection with Jeff, but I think the reason why the girl sent her home is they didn't like her drama with Tim and Zita and Jeff, and I think they also didn't like they saw how Serenity really struggled after she picked Serenity for Chaz, knowing that Chaz wanted Maddie, and so I think this could have played a part in why they sent her home. Timmy was always going to be saved. It doesn't matter which guy he was with, because it seems Timmy gets along with most of the other guys, and so I should feel sorry for Bria, but I don't really, because I don't know her personally, but from what I've seen, she's her own worst enemy, in the sense that she came into the villa and went for two of the strongest couple. You'd have expected her to go for a weaker couple, as in she should have made her brother pair with Maddie, and she should have paired with Isaiah while she was waiting to recouple with somebody else and build a connection with somebody else. But she didn't. She decided what she wanted, and she decided what her brother wanted. Even though her brother wanted Maddie, she still went and chose Serenity and broke up Serenity's couple, and Serenity has not been the same since she broke that coupling. And after breaking that coupling, she then went full force with Timmy and sort of tried to alienate Zeta. And the girls were watching all this, and she didn't seem to try and create a bond with all the other girls. She always was on her own, either with Serenity or her brother. She was never with the whole group of girls. So I'm not surprised that she went home. I was sad for Chaz because that's his sister, but at the same time, I don't think. And I was sad for Jeff as well because she was starting to build a connection with Jeff. But I just think the problem is the girls are so tight, and because they're so tight and so, as in they're so very friendly amongst themselves, it would be bad for them to bring in someone who was going to create a mess amongst them. And so I think this is why Bria went home. And for Andy, it was to be expected. I know they like him, but there's no way they're going to save Andy and send Timmy home, because I can foresee Zita making that villa a nightmare for everybody if they kicked Timmy out. So I think there was no choice but to send Andy home. And I like the fact that Andy, on his way out, said, he's still open to getting to know Mandy. If she still wants to get in touch, she's free to get in touch with him at any time, and they can see if they can build something. Whereas Bria, I think is still a bit. She's still a bit. I'm looking for the nice word to use. She's still a bit confused. That's the nicest word I can find, because sh Timmy told her, "I've got a stronger connection with Zita. I think I this is where I want to invest all my time." And still on her way out, she's saying, "Oh, if we had met under different circumstances with Timmy, things might have worked." No, no, it didn't work. Look at it. What did you learn? And keep it moving. I did feel sorry for her brother, though. He was there for her. He was, he didn't cry. He was supporting his sister, making sure she was okay, and he knew he was proud of her, and which was good. And I'm also happy because Serenity, even though she had a conversation with Chaz and told him that there's something missing in their coupling, she still supported him, because when Tyler went and she was broken, he supported her. So I'm very happy she did that. And I think this is one of the reasons why Serenity, after Andy and Bria were sort of booted out of the villa, I think this is why she reflected and sort of came to the conclusion that she wanted to try and give things a go with Chaz, I'm not sure still. I'm not sure because her body language says something else and her mouth is saying something totally different. I know. I watch Criminal Minds and I watched this other show called Lie to Me, and suddenly I'm a behavioral expert. Hey. And so Serenity and Chaz are going to try and see if they can work on their coupling and see if they can create a connection. Hmm. I think it's going to be difficult because now that there's two new girls that have come in, I hope Serenity is able to sort of couple up with someone because I really don't. Part of me wants her to go home because Tyler's waiting at home for her, but the other of me wants her to stay because I think she's the piece that the villain needs. So I don't think it's a good idea for her to go home as yet. Um, and so she is a bit worried though that Chaz, one of the new girls, asks Chaz to to create a dessert for him and for her. And I think for her, her thing is she says she doesn't want to be blindsided. And I think I remember Tyler saying this in his interview that they always had a conversation with Serenity, and they'd agreed that if one of them found someone else that they wanted, they needed to let the other person know. That way, they did not blind the other person. So I get where she's coming from by saying she doesn't want to be blindsided. Um, from there, Zita and Timmy are in paradise. Zita was very nervous when the guys were voting, but I think she knew that they would save Timmy, and so they're both happy that Timmy's been saved. And she's even happier when the new girls come in. I think they've seen the show and they don't want Zita smoke. They've learned from Bria, so they don't want Zita smoke, so they stay clear of of Timmy. And when the girls were talking, up on the terrace about the new girls, she said, she's fine with them. She'll be friends with them just because they're not coming after her man. Timmy, on his part, he actually gave Bria a hug and, gave her, nice parting words. And I hope she takes that to heart. From there, Courtney and Bryce. I wish we could see more of them because you rarely hear their conversations. He was just the only bit I heard was him saying, "Oh, you always look nice, whatever you're doing, even if it's going to bad." Well, she's a stylist. She's going to always put she's always going to, her have her A game on, and she's always going to make sure she looks her best because that's how, that's her job. That's the best way to sort of put herself out there. And then from there, um, Jesse and Jesse and Deb. Deb, I think, has become very close with Maddie because most of the times they're together, and I think she was a very good support for Maddie when Maddie was broken, even though all the other girls came in and were sort of supporting Maddie as well when she was crying. The only thing I think is I like Deb's sense of humor, and I think if nothing else, if Jess is not smart, one of the new guys or even Jeff on his part is going to steal Deb from him because Deb was asked to prepare a dessert for the new guy, and Jesse was saying, "Oh, the problem with Deb is she doesn't have a type. She just goes for anyone. So I'm worried that she might like this guy." So there is a clip from tomorrow, which I think Deb is going. Her head might turn because of what this guy is going to say. I don't know. We'll see. And Maddie on her part, I think Maddie and Jeff have a great chemistry when they were they are two of the most unlikely people, but I wish they could explore that because I could see their conversations when they were talking about, when Maddie was saying, my child is going to be, she's going to be a pageant queen, she's going to do this and she's going to like it, and Jeff was just sort of answering her. I love their banter and I love their conversation and I love how they're very comfortable around each other. I wish they could explore that. I think it's something that either one of them might not have looked at because they think, oh, the parents of this person, maybe if Maddie takes Jeff home with all his tattoos, her parents might be shocked and have a heart attack and say, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? Oh God. Anyway, I don't like tattoos. Um, so I hope if nothing else, they explore that. Maddie, I think the girls keeping her in the villa was a good idea because she's coming out of her shell. She was someone who had built this very hard shell around herself. And I think being amongst these girls, with them supporting her and cheering her on and encouraging her, is doing her a world of good. And I think she will leave the villa a totally different person than when she went in. And I think it will benefit her in whatever she does in the future. So I really hope they continue to support her and she stays. And then Sydney and Isaiah. Oh God, Sydney and Isaiah. Isaiah is selected to to not only cook the entree, but he's also selected to cook the dessert for two of the girls. And we all know they've been to the hideaway, so they've been very intimate and they like each other. And I think the thing is, they had a conversation after the hideaway and they agreed that their heads wouldn't turn. And I think the idea that their heads are I think now Sydney's worried that Isaiah's head is going to turn, and this is why she was panicking. And even when the girls came and they were cooking, when they were eating with Isaiah, you could tell that Sydney was very panicked, which I don't get why. You can't force someone to like you, and you can't, you can only hope for the best. So Sydney is worried, and you could tell she's worried because of the fact that there is two new girls coming into the Villa One. Both girls have asked for Catherine, they're Catherine and Nadia or something like that, and they've both asked for Isaiah. Catherine, I think, turned Isaiah's head during the meal. I think she turned Isaiah's head because of the way she was talking to him and the way he was behaving. I think she turned his head, and so it's going to be interesting this week. I think the drama is going to be them. I think it's going to be Catherine and Sydney and Isaiah, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Um, we'll see how that goes. So three new islanders coming: Jared, Catherine, and Nadia. And I don't know. I don't know. I think. Jared might turn either. He's got a very good chance of turning either because he's chosen Deb and he's chosen Maddie. He can turn one of their heads, but I think Isaiah, it's going to be a struggle between Sydney and Catherine. I think it's going to be a struggle. The other girl Nadia might focus on Jeff. If she's smart, that's my opinion. If she's smart, I would put my money on Jeff and just focus on Jeff and leave everybody else alone until maybe after the recoupling when she's gotten to know everybody else and she sees who she thinks might be the best partner for her. Timmy and Ziza. Oh God, they're hilarious. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.